Greetings and good day. Welcome back to my channel, The Divine Mind. It's day-oyabunmi. I'm so glad to have you with me today. So, we're going to look at how to raise our consciousness collectively today. When I speak of consciousness, I'm speaking of the divine mind, our connection to the divine, our connection to source and spirit, how we can increase and improve that connection, okay? Because honestly, there's nothing more important. Yes, we are having this physical experience, but we are spirit beings, we are divine beings. And a part of this experience is a help to us spiritually, right? It can help us to grow, to excel, to evolve. And that's something we need to focus on a great deal at this time, at least in my opinion. Like, there's nothing more important in your life than growth, spiritual growth, increased consciousness, and becoming the fullest expression of your divine self here on the planet. Shout out to my divine tribe on Patreon who always sees these videos first. Thank you so much for your support. Now, if you're interested in a personal reading, check out my website, daydreamolson.com/store. You can get a reading on this topic or any other topic, okay? Great. So let's see what the divine wants to share with us today about how we can raise our consciousness. And I'll be using the Tarot, Angels and Ancestors, Oracle, the Sacred Self-Care Oracle, and Mystical Shaman Oracle, okay? Just felt like those were the best cards for this particular reading. What do we need to know about how we can raise our consciousness? So the first card out is the Nine of Swords. And in this rendition of the Nine of Swords, we see this person has their hands bound, like they're bound, but in this case, they're bound by their own thinking, their own thoughts, thought processes, communication, or information. There's a need to free yourself mentally, to set yourself free mentally. A lot of us, and not just y'all, like this is us, right? Because I'm a part of this, but a lot of us have very binding thought patterns, right? Thought patterns that keep us stuck, that keep us limited, that keep us feeling like victims. And there's a need to break free. They're literally showing me like someone in bondage, wrapped up tight and unable to move. I just heard unable to breathe. There's a need to release yourself, to free yourself, right? And in a way, growing your consciousness is exactly that. So they're showing me this image of rising above, like rising above the mundane thoughts and worries of everyday life, because that keeps you stuck and tethered to like the physical, tethered to the material aspect of this realm, and you're never able to move forward if you're stuck on that. What comes next is the Two of Swords. So we have swords here, thoughts, communication, information again. And with the Two of Swords, this woman, so now we went from someone being bound, their hands being bound, to someone being blindfolded. So there's something about not being able to see, not being able to move. It's like prison. Like I'm getting a sense of prison, and some people call this the prison planet, right? But the way to rise above, to grow your consciousness is through your mind. That's what's coming up first. Through your thought patterns, your beliefs, the way you look at the world, and things like that. So this is so interesting because I'm clairsentient, so I'll feel emotion and sensations, right? So the divine is like literally showing me and having me feel like the sense of soaring, rising, up past the clouds and being able to soar like a bird. A lot of us are very, very bound and very low. When I mean low, it's like we're not operating in high consciousness. We're not operating in divine mind. There's a lot of fear, Um, there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of negative thinking, negative processes that go on mentally that are stopping us. And the divine is showing me that they send us messages and gifts and things to support the increase of our consciousness, but we're so blocked off by it and blind to it, because a lot of us, because of the stressors and the trauma of life. So that's part of this game of life, is being able to overcome the trauma, the fear, the stress, and still be fully present and still be growing spiritually and still be hopeful and believe that life is good. It's a lot of mental work, reprogramming of the mind. We now have the Two of Coins out. So in terms of consciousness, they're showing me we worry so much about money. And this is true, right? Because we need money to live. But there's like, it becomes something where we're focused on it constantly and we can't see past money. Like money becomes everything. And there's this fear that if we don't chase it, if we don't run after it, if we're not in like this frenzied pace of producing it, making it happen, we got to do this, we got to, that we'll like die destitute. And the divine wants us to know that these systems that have been created around money are not real. They're an illusion. And we can break free of this illusion whenever we choose. That's what they're showing me. And that's the way that you can increase your consciousness. For some of you, bodies of water help increase your consciousness. I see water in 2 cards. Movement, like doing some type of movement, body movement, helps you to free your consciousness, to expand your consciousness. Living someplace near water, moving, traveling, supports the growth, the expansion of your consciousness. We also have the Fool card and the High Priestess out. So with the Fool card and raising our consciousness, again, I'm getting this sense of like freedom. Like there's a bondage, there's a stagnation, there's a fear, worry, incessant focus on the mundane things of life that stunt our spiritual growth. And the divine is showing me that a way to raise our consciousness is to move, to free ourselves up, and to take chances and try new things. They're showing me that if we consistently do the same things, right, and get the same results, it's very hard for us to grow because we're not having new experiences, and that's limiting us. But in order to step into a more enlightened state, some of us need to pick up and move. Again, I'm getting some type of body work. Moving your body can actually raise your consciousness. Yoga, dance, things like that. But for some of you, moving to a new location would really free up your mind. And you already know where this is. You may have already thought about it. This may be a mountainous area or, again, a place around water. But there's something about changing locations to raise your consciousness as well. There's something also here about tapping into the inner child, the divine child energy to raise consciousness, because there's an innocence, right? The child doesn't have all the worries and fears. The child hasn't had so many bad experiences typically that they see the world as evil and bad, and the child is not always running from trauma. So there's a need to kind of embody that, the divine child. And then with the High Priestess here, in terms of raising our consciousness, we need to pay better attention to our intuition. Some of you are getting messages on a regular basis, but you're not paying attention to them. Some of you are going to be seeing the number 2 repeating a lot, 222, 222, 4 2s in a row. There's something about the number 2 which can talk about union and coming together. Some of you are going to enter into divine union this year. And that's going to help raise your consciousness. But please pay attention to your intuition. Please do things to open up your intuition, to increase your intuition. That can be meditation, that can be free writing, journaling, that can be getting you some cards and starting to do your own readings and things like that, okay? Let's get some from the sacred self-care. What can we do to raise our consciousness? Be mindful of what you eat. Make sure you're taking in nourishing, foods, liquids. Like, make sure your diet is good. For some of you, raising your consciousness here with make a meal and health checkup, your body, your health, like really focusing on your health, taking on a whole new health regime. If that includes changing your diet. I'm not the type of person that believes one diet fits all. So I wouldn't say, oh, run out and be vegan or vegetarian. Do whatever the hell you want to do, but make sure it's balanced, as healthy as it can be for you, for your body type, for your spirit, right? So preparing meals consciously, making sure you're nourishing yourself correctly, and taking care of your physical vessel. This can also, with the health checkup card, be getting some type of therapy, working through trauma, because I see that being a big issue that's keeping a lot of us stuck and making it hard for us to raise our consciousness. What else? How do we raise our consciousness, Divine? How do we raise our consciousness? What do you want us to know? Meditate. I knew that was going to come out. So meditation, sitting still. Meditation doesn't have to be you clearing your mind. It can be a focus on something specific. One of the things I like to visualize is going to a space and meeting with ancestors or deceased elders. You'll be surprised. Like, you'll get messages and information from that. You'll think that it's just you visualizing, but then you'll end up having a real ass experience with those ancestors. Focusing on breathing, doing breath work, but meditation and breath work, the divine is saying, will help. Try to make that a consistent practice. I know it's hard sometimes, but that's going to help raise your consciousness. Herbs. We have the drink tea card. Again, I'm getting this sense of conscious ingestion. Like when you're eating, when you're drinking, doing it very consciously. Consciously not scarfing things down, not just running out and buying something because you don't feel like cooking, like taking the time to prepare meals for yourself. But drink tea also, for some of you, this is earth medicine, plant medicine, and you know what I'm talking about. For some of you, those experiences are going to take your consciousness to the next level. I see a kundalini rising for some of you through, through plant medicine, through taking earth medicines, okay, mushrooms or whatever. Do so carefully. But also herbs. Herbs are really helpful for some of you in terms of raising your consciousness. We have the sex card, number 44. For some of you, the physical act of sex, this can actually be masturbation too, but it's going to open up portals for you to raise your consciousness. It's better, if you have a partner that you trust and you guys are like really like loving on each other. That union can really help you to expand consciously, to raise your conscious awareness. Journal, my favorite thing. Y'all know I'm always, and on the bottom of the deck, music. I'm always talking about journaling. Like, that's my shit. I'm about to do it when I'm done with this. That's a definite way to support. Got jumpers. Yeah, I was saying journaling is like one of my favorite things, and it's a great way to expand consciousness because as you free write, you'll be surprised at the things that come up, and it's a way to release trauma and stress. We have music. For some of you, music is like a portal for you to the divine. Like, it literally opens up a direct connection between you and the divine realms. Okay, now from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle, the first card out is Arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. Okay, so in terms of raising your consciousness, some of you need to be careful with the spaces you're in and the people you're around. You are placing yourself in situations, environments that are no good for you, and you know they're no good. And it's impacting your spiritual development and growth. And I feel like you'll think like, oh, it's okay. I know that I'm spiritually inclined and I can be with these people, I can be in these spaces and it doesn't matter. But with the arrow card here, it's not only is it holding you back, but it can put you into a dangerous situation, okay? All right, so other ways to raise your consciousness, we have the Wise One card, grow within your current situation. Stop looking, and this is hard because this is something that I struggle with. Stop looking out into the world and feeling like you're not in the right place, or things are not good enough for you, or you need to move, you need to leave, you need, this thing to happen to be happy. Stop doing that. Grow within your current situation, right where you are planted. Bloom, okay? That's going to help raise your consciousness, because if you're always chasing the next thing, if you're always chasing a high or looking for the thing that's better than what you have currently, it moves you out of a state of gratitude and you never fucking stop running. That's the truth. Like, you'll never stop running. You're always looking for something. Increasing your spiritual wisdom also helps to raise your consciousness, reading books, but also observing nature. Star Ancestor says, follow the voice of your soul. So again, we have this intuitive, this instruction about paying attention to the intuitive hits and how those actually support the expansion of our consciousness as well, because your own, divine mind is connecting with you and trying to guide you, but you have to be open to it. So pay attention and do things to pay attention to your intuition. The last card from this one says, enjoy success and happiness. Imagine that. Happiness can expand your consciousness, because if you're always low, down, sad, disgusted, disturbed, right, or stuck in a state of trauma, fear, and tension, that's going to have an impact on your mental, on your emotional, on your spiritual consciousness. So enjoy life more. That'll definitely help to expand your consciousness. Get out in the sun gaze also, okay? Look up how to sun gaze safely for those of you who don't. Do it. Let's get one card from the mystical shaman to close about how we can expand, raise our consciousness. What does the divine want us to know? Ooh, Vision Quest. Got the Vision Quest card. I like reading these cards, reading from the book. I just love this deck. Mystical Shaman. My brother got it for me a few years ago. It's just an awesome deck. So the Vision Quest card, let's see, it says, in the Vision Quest, you face your fear, embrace your mortality, and then meet face to face with the divine. When we feel stagnant, a Vision Quest brings our lives into perspective. We realize our flaws, our potential, and the opportunities life is now offering us. We remain on a Vision Quest until we find the key to open a new door or write a new chapter in our lives. Ashe. It says, find clarity by spending time alone in nature. If you live in a city, go for walks in a park. If you live in the country, make sure you spend time outside in contemplation. Get off the couch, get away from your desk, go outside. Spirit helps those who help themselves. So set your intention and ask nature for a guiding vision for your life. Ashe. So again, the divine is saying, if you want to raise your consciousness, it's time to go beyond like the the limitations that we've created for ourselves. It's time to get outside, spend time in nature, move. And then also spend time in quiet contemplation, because the divine, your own divine mind, your own soul, your own Ori, and your divine guides, they can't connect with you if you're always busy and if everything around you is always loud, right? So simmer down, take some time out, and really allow for connection, because the divine wants to connect with us so badly. We're here, to grow spiritually. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but that's what this is all about. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time, dears. Bye. Hey, if you're interested in a personal tarot reading, an Ifa reading, a Ifa-Orisa reading, if you're interested in Ifa-Orisa online trainings, ebooks, even an ebook on how to read tarot intuitively, or my Patreon, check out my website, daydreamalston.com, or the description box below. And please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Ashe.